Peasants, the divorce rumors that just won't stop. One story that hit the web this weekend that is going to keep everybody talking all week long, I personally think. And why? Is there a ton of credibility or meat behind it? Not exactly, but continuing to talk about with love, Meghan.
Is Meghan Markle already preparing for life after Harry? Hollywood insiders are buzzing and Netflix may be in on it? From secret meetings to solo branding deals, signs are pointing to a Sussex split that could shake up the entire celebrity landscape.
Snorefest or Confessions of a Female Founder. I just don't think anybody cares to talk about that stuff anymore. So I do think that you will hear more about this story currently circulating online, and it is about how the Daily Mail predicts that Netflix will not sign another deal with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry as the Sussexes, but could potentially continue a relationship with Meghan Markle as I'm so sorry, Meghan Sussex peasants. Will continue a relationship with Meghan Markle solo because there is suspicion that there could potentially be some sort of breakup in the marriage, and Netflix wants to still have their clause in Meghan if that were to take place. Now, while I think, oh yeah, that totally, well, okay, that makes sense. I would also say Netflix technically had an in when Harry and Meghan broke up with the British royal family, but they didn't get the exclusive there. Well, they got a form of it, but who got the goods was Oprah Winfrey. So if they did continue to have some sort of contractual relationship with Meghan, you would hope that they would learn from their past mistakes and ensure that they would be the first outlet she spoke to, not Oprah Winfrey and not Lemonada. But let's jump into some of this Daily Mail story that popped up on Saturday. So it says exclusive Harry and Meghan's Netflix divorce deal. Bosses want to keep ties with Sussexes for a ratings winner in case they split up, but won't be renewing their $100 million contract, TV expert claims. So I'm going to say this until I'm blue in the face. Vanity Fair says that there was no way it was $100 million. I don't know why we keep repeating this number, except that there's not an alternative number, because Vanity Fair said, while it's not $100 million, we have no idea what it is. But
In this video, we're unpacking the Netflix divorce clause, Meghan's rebranding moves, and what Hollywood's elite are already preparing for, a royal separation with billion-dollar consequences. Let's start with what's becoming increasingly obvious. All is not well in Montecito.
we all just keep throwing out this ridiculous number. And the reason why it annoys me, aside from the fact that I like to be credible, is the idea that if somebody thinks that you made something here, then they think that the expectation is to match you there. Although I would say that it's been pretty obvious to anybody that would potentially work with Harry and Meghan that there was no return on investment when it came to the Netflix or Spotify deal. So they would probably like dismiss the idea of a $100 million anything. It says Netflix won't be renewing the Sussex's $100 million contract, but may make one-off shows with them going forward just in case they get divorced, it was claimed today. Now, this is similar to stuff we've talked about right here, you and I, how we could see Netflix saying to Harry and Meghan, we aren't going to give you this general deal that says for 5 years you have the freedom to do whatever you want, and we're going to pay you this ungodly amount of money. But Netflix might say, we'd like the first chance to see any projects or any ideas you have going forward. We'd like first rights at it. And if we want to do it, we'll do it. And if not, you can take it wherever else you want to take it. I've always said I felt like the trip to Jamaica for the Bob Marley movie was some sort of strategic move between Harry and Meghan hanging out with the bigwigs at Paramount Plus. I always said that. But I have said recently I felt like perhaps the relationship going forward would be pitch us first. And if we like what you're showing us, or if we really feel like there's some traction there or there's opportunity to grow there, yeah, we'd love to work with you again. But we don't just want to do some vague deal. And honestly, I don't know how much that really exists anymore, especially in the celebrity space, which is what I consider Harry and Meghan. I think if you have a proven track record, you are a if you're Shonda Rhimes, yeah, I think that there are opportunities like this for you when it comes to streamers like Netflix. You have, do you ever forget that she made that Britney Spears movie Crossroads? Do you ever forget Shonda Rhimes made Crossroads? Because sometimes I do. And I'm watching it and it's incredible and I'm loving every second of it. And I'm like, Shonda Rhimes, how is it that everything you touch turns to gold? Anyway, sorry about that. Grey's Anatomy, the first season's one of the best first seasons of television ever. Competes really hard with the Vampire Diaries. Ian Somerhalder, oh, Paul Wesley, good lord. But Grey's Anatomy season one is one of the best first seasons of television ever. Shonda Rhimes. But when you're Harry and Meghan and most of the stuff that you contributed in your general deal was crap, then I don't think that you are going to get a similar deal going forward. I think they're going to go like, you know what? Sometimes you do good stuff, sometimes you don't do good stuff. There is clearly a theme in everything that's been commercially successful for the Sussexes, and it's tearing down the British royal family. And they are going to be limited at how much of that they can do going forward because the royals were keen and smart enough to cut them off. Now, I do think that Meghan continues to dangle the I found my diary carrot in front of the world. Like she has some secrets that she can potentially reveal, but she has been caught in so many lies over the last few years, allegedly. I guess I have to say that for legal reasons. Um, Ask the Archbishop. He'd be like, I definitely didn't marry you that day. But she's been caught in so many, they call them porcupines in the UK. Isn't that so cute?
From awkward red carpet appearances to rumours of Harry wanting to return to the UK, sources close to the couple have reported growing tensions behind the scenes. PR experts say the once united Sussex brand now seems to be splitting into Harry, the Prince, and Meghan, the mogul.
Porcupines that not everybody just, especially the mainstream media, not everybody just takes what she has to say as fact anymore. People are pretty critical all over the place, no matter what, no matter whether you stood team Harry and Meghan a few years ago or team I really don't care. Um, unless you are full on a Harry and Meghan stan, I think that most people watch both Harry and Meghan with a little bit of, you know, with a little bit of cynicism. They're like, was there a near catastrophic car chase in the middle of New York City? What? What? Really? Come on. Okay, so it said journalist and screenwriter. I'm only on the second sentence of this article. What have I been doing? It says journalist and screenwriter Marina Hyde, who had no idea what she was getting herself into when she opened her mouth on this particular topic, has said other streamers may also fight to work with the couple to keep a vague hand in if one day Meghan and Harry split up. The other one that I mentioned a couple of times on this channel and elsewhere is Amazon Prime Video. We have seen Meghan try to court Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez. Lauren Sanchez, who's going to space with Katy Perry and Gayle King. I'm surprised Meghan didn't invite herself up there. Goodbye. But I know that Harry was negotiating something or starting the negotiations with Amazon Prime for an Invictus. I don't think it was a documentary. I think it was actually a live event where it was an award ceremony or something prior to the Netflix deal. Also, we know that Harry was working on a deal with Apple Plus right before the Netflix deal. So those are two alternatives that we know where Harry has contacts. Although, if you ask me, I think Harry is so uninterested in the Hollywood game. I think he is so uninterested in failing in front of the world, and the idea of analytics and ratings that hold him accountable for not executing something properly or successfully. But we know he's worked with Apple Plus and Oprah on The Me You Can't See, and um, there were rumors that there was going to be something else that never came to fruition because of Netflix. I believe that he was working with Amazon on something related to Invictus that could not come to fruition because of his inevitable Netflix deal. And then we have their friends at Paramount Plus. The wife that Meghan was seen at the Bob Marley premiere with is actually in Meghan's new show with Love Meghan. Also, that might have been a warning shot too. What the heck? Hey, let's see what else is in this article that I keep being distracted from. I apologize. She says, the reality is that a lot of people are hanging around in case there's a divorce. Amid dreadful reviews and poor viewing figures for We Love Meghan, Miss Hyde has said that she believes the couple have already had their main TV hit with the Meghan and Harry documentary in 2022. But if their marriage were to dissolve, she speculated on her The Rest is Entertainment podcast with Richard Osman that streamers would be queuing up to make a series about it because it would be a ratings winner after a string of Sussex flops. You guys know this to be true, right? You realize that everything she's saying is absolutely correct. The fallout from that marriage would be ratings gold because it's an 8-part series on the everything that Prince Harry gave up, the chaos that led to Megxit. I mean, the chapters of nastiness and spare. Oh my gosh, don't get me started.
Now here's where it gets interesting. Industry whispers suggest Meghan may have negotiated a Netflix clause that allows her to continue projects independently even if the Sussex brand dissolves. Insiders say
Netflix, are not going to renew. They might say we're continuing to develop projects with them, Ms. Hyde said. We've said that right here too. It will be a ghosting. There's not going to be a big official announcement like there was with Spotify. It will be quiet. They will try to do it under the radar. If there is an official announcement, it will be in a Friday dump, hoping that so they could try to justify that they tried to do it during a Friday dump when people would be out of the office or checked out for the weekend, even though everything Harry and Meghan does is headline news. But I agree that there will not be a big, it's over. Even if it's like, it's amicable, like Spotify with a few days later, Bill Simmons going, effing grifters. I think that it would be super under the radar, and with Netflix saying something like, yeah, on a project by project basis, we plan to continue to work with the Sussexes. They will face a lot of questions, and they have been really good about keeping quiet when it comes to their relationship with Harry and Meghan. I mean, they didn't even gloat about this show at their upfronts. The reality is that a lot of people are hanging around in case there's a divorce. That might be why Netflix or whoever it might be who's got to deal with them might keep a vague hand in. Meghan could also name her price if she wanted to return to acting, Mr. Osmond said, adding, it's what she's known for. She's good at it. Do that. I've seen a lot of people lately say she should just go back to acting, especially after watching clips from With Love Meghan where they're like, is this a robot human? Like maybe she should just go back to acting because if she's trying to be real, this is the opposite of that. Scrolling down, it says her rest is entertainment co-host Richard Osman, the best-selling author and also the brains behind countless TV hits in the UK, also laid into Meghan's new show and said the format was flawed from the start. If the whole show is my friends are coming over, it is fatally flawed. You should not get past a first meeting for a TV show. If you're saying, oh, the whole thing is about hospitality, the whole thing is about I love to cook for people and I love to have guests over to my house, but it's not my house. Just from a TV producer point of view, I have completely lost interest. You might as well just be in a lab somewhere. Both agreed that for the couple to make major money, a return to acting for Meghan would be the best way forward. Mr. Osmond said, Meghan is an actress. Cast her in something. That is what I advise Meghan. Take a job in something. You could pretty much name your price and project for the first thing you go back into acting for. It's what she does. Marina added with a laugh, I would have married him, Harry, got the 2 kids, got divorced, then ran back to Hollywood to be Julia Roberts from my 40s, but she's not followed that plan. Interesting. Okay, so what I would also say is I feel like I've repeated this a couple times too, but yes, Tyler Perry will give you a job right now. Tyler Perry gave Kim Kardashian, I think, her first acting role. He also gave Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston's daughter a job right after her mother passed away. He's so good to his friends. And he would, without a doubt, give Meghan any acting role that she wanted, whatever. He has an entire, like, he's erected an entire replica of the Oval Office in Atlanta. If Meghan wants to be president, let her be you've got the set. Go be president, Meghan. I think that's as close as you're probably going to get these days, thanks to shilling jam. That's where I feel like things really went south for your political career. But what do I know? But yeah, I think that's the second time I've read this week somebody advising Meghan that she should really go back into acting.
Meghan's team has pitched solo documentaries and scripted series. She's reportedly been meeting with top agents and streaming execs. Netflix is allegedly positioning Meghan as a standalone Hollywood figure. One entertainment analyst called it a quiet divorce rehearsal.
I think she hates the idea of acting because I don't feel like that was a joyful experience for her, because she was constantly being reminded that she was not number one on the call sheet, that she wasn't the most important person in the room. There was always somebody that had the better dialogue, or somebody that had the better storyline, or somebody that had what she wanted. And I just don't think it would remind her too much of having to compete against the Princess of Wales, Catherine, quite honestly. But what do you think about this story? I think it's a pretty bold and blatant observation that there are going to be, what's not mentioned in this article, at least not yet, is the fact that Vanity Fair reported back in January that someone in Meghan's camp was shopping a post-divorce Harry book. I mean, if that's true, which Vanity Fair says rumors are that this is going on, and we've discussed a couple of times here that Vanity Fair's got some pretty mean lawyers that you, as a reporter and as a journalist, you have to go head to head with these guys who are on your team but are challenging you hard, because their ultimate objective is not to protect you but to protect the company. And they are challenging that journalist. Who are your sources? How did you hear? Who told you this? Show me proof. Because ultimately they don't want to get sued by especially a couple as litigious as Harry and Meghan over a claim as salacious as the fact that Meghan could have been peddling a post-divorce Prince Harry book. So I think that almost gives this theory credibility, that there could be this, not an official pitch, but whispers out there that Meghan would be willing to write this post Harry book. Harry joking about how they've moved several times and they're constantly getting divorced. It was a awkward moment. It was an awkward moment. If you go back and watch that clip, like, I don't know, like, did he really think that that was just going to be the end of it? And then after that, we saw them kind of all over each other at Invictus. It needed a rating. Every time we saw, you know how there are ratings when you watch movies? It's like it was PG-13. I mean, that was some PG-13 activity we saw. Lord Jesus. I feel like Harry and Meghan tried to dismiss it for a few weeks, but then to launch a show on Instagram where he's in like, or on, to launch a show on Netflix where he's in like 15 seconds of it at the very end, then to announce without him that you're getting a season two, which you always had two seasons. That was what it was greenlit for. You got the green light, two seasons shot back to back. Likely, in my opinion, aside from Netflix saving money, which is what Maureen Callahan suggested, look, it's just their way to save money. They rented out this house, they've got this production crew. Why not out, kill two birds with one stone? I hate that reference. We should never kill birds. But I also think Meghan likely knew that archetypes, no matter how many trophies she picked up, looked like a total dud because she was fired after one season. And she knew she could try to make it look like a success if she had two seasons here. So that's what I think. And I'd love to know your opinion. I can't believe I talked for 20 minutes about like one paragraph on the Daily Mail.
For both Netflix and Meghan. So, is this the end of the royal fairy tale? Meghan seems to be playing chess, not checkers, with Netflix, with her brand, and possibly with her marriage. Hollywood is ready, the contracts are in motion, and Harry? He may soon find himself alone again. Let us know in the comments, is this just tabloid smoke, or is Meghan quietly setting up her next chapter without Harry? Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and stay tuned. This story is just getting started.